Okay, I'm going to jump into a question here. For the last 2 summers, I've been taking my son off the GFCF diet to see if his body will do okay now that he's older. He's been on since he was 4 and turns 11 next month. What are some things I need to track with him? That's a great question, right?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
So what do you think?
I mean, there's a couple of different levels. There are any changes in behavior, and it can be the absence or presence of behavior.
Ah.
So I've had families who they do the GFCF diet very specifically when the kids are waiting for their gut to heal and everything. And then when you're taking him off, I wouldn't say take him off of everything all at once. I'd say one thing at a time.
Okay.
So, and waiting a few weeks to see, like, can you see a difference? If you know what went away when he was on it and previously from when you enter a regular diet into a GFCF diet, I'd say definitely track all of those markers.
Yes.
Those things tend to be things like eye contact. Sometimes it's like amount of speech or just fluency of speech. Fluency meaning how easy it is for the child to be able to talk. There's behaviors, stereotypical and functional, either one. Sometimes we would laugh because a kid would just walk in the room and he'd do this little dance jump, and I'd be like, oh, he's gotten exposed to something. I don't know what it was, but like that little jump isn't there when he's on the diet.
Yes.
And then usually for some of the kids, it's little bumps on their cheeks or their ears get really inflamed red, very red. There's a lot of stereotypy that maybe was away but comes back. And you might not even notice it at the beginning because it might just come back slowly. And the thing with stereotypy is, in many ways, it's typical at a low level. It's only when it hits a high level that it becomes stereotypical.
Right, because we all do certain things. We all have, there's the pen clicker person, but all of a sudden then it's like, hey, when you start noticing it, it's like, why are you doing that so much? Yeah.
Or they stop playing appropriately, either with people or stop interacting. Choosing to stay in a more very structured environment.
Yes.
When in the past they were okay just moving around and not having to be so structured. There's just, so it can be the presence or absence.
Okay.
And I would say, like, I tell families, don't just like inundate them and come off the diet completely. Do it one at a time. And then you'll be able to see which one really matters, or maybe the amount that matters.
My son's been on the GFCF diet since he was 2.5 when he was diagnosed. And we've had a couple of infractions, not me, which actually ended up being good because when we noticed that they were infractions and we realized, okay, staying on longer. Yeah. I love that you're waiting till the summer because for me, it's always, a couple of times now we've done challenges. Where you deliberately feed the person whatever it is that you've been not doing to see if there's an issue. So now that he's older, we've done that with both gluten and with dairy. And we did that over the winter holiday with dairy. And my son was so excited. He was like, I want cheese, and more cheese. I want to know what cheese tastes like. I want to have, this. I want to have a little bit of ice cream. I want to, do all this. And so we bought a bunch of sample sizes of things just so it wouldn't be wasting. And he was so excited. And he had Havarti cheese, and bless his little heart, he was just like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And the next day, and I thought, oh, well, forget it. It doesn't matter. If he has symptoms, he's not going to want. Next day he came to me and he's like, my stomach hurts so bad. He said, I've been doubled over. It's just terrible. This isn't worth it.
Well, and that's the thing is, if you're going to do challenges, if your child has the ability to tell you when there's a difference.
Right.
And so many of our kids don't really comment on their physical state.
Yes.
They don't know when they're in pain. They don't know when they're cold,
hot.
And so it's important that they learn how to do that, how to identify what pain means.
Yes.
Because so many of our kids initially, when they come in, the parents usually describe them as having high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
When it's not necessarily true. They just don't know how to tell you what pain is. And
but any rocking or pushing stomach up against anything.
And then sometimes you just see the physical response. You see the bloated tummy, and you know that they don't feel good.
Oh, it's just sad, right? But what was great about it was he was like, no, I choose.
He knew exactly.
I choose. And I've seen some kids when they do a challenge be that way and go, whether it's artificial colors. I've seen a lot of kids who are like, no, I can't have that. If I have that color, I don't like the way I feel. which is a pretty amazing thing when
It
it
is.
gets to be that point.
That is.
So hopefully, you'll be, what always scares me is that people in general tend to discredit the whole gut-brain connection,
Yeah.
which I don't understand. Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever, because I know that what I eat totally affects how I think. And anybody who disbelieves that, please go have a glass of beer.
Or anybody that has had allergies.
Oh, my goodness, right? What you put into your body through your mouth can have a substantial effect on how your
Or
brain
even
feels.
if you have environmental allergies. You breathe
Yeah.
in, for me, it's if somebody's mowing the lawn, I actually start holding my breath.
Right?
Because I know I'm going to start getting itchy eyes, and my head starts getting really
And then your
full.
ability to concentrate is
Yep.
going to be hampered.
Yeah,
It
and
just is.
I'm just focusing on feeling better. I'm not looking at anything around me.
Right.
I'm not learning or talking. I'm just
Yes.
trying to make myself feel better.
Exactly. And I'm the gal with the wheat allergy. Long before I had my son, I had a wheat allergy. And you give me wheat, and we can all tell, because my face gets red and I get mad. I get like bumps underneath the skin that eventually will be hives. But it literally, they talk about having your hackles raised. And I never knew what that meant, but that's what it feels like. It feels like everything is bumpy, and I'm really fatutzed about everything, to the point where I like have to be by myself. I cannot be around other people. So if I were a kid, I'd be tantruming,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So it's always made sense to me. But just what makes me sad sometimes is a parent who says, well, we went off the GFCF diet and we didn't see any change and everything is fine, but we've had terrible behavior issues and he doesn't comply anymore and he doesn't do this and he doesn't. And I'm always like, but wait a second, you just said you had nothing.
Well,
after they don't connect the two.
The behavioral. I mean, we even have kids who they have the environmental allergies. And here in Southern California, we have the Santa Ana winds.
Yes.
And when the winds blow, we always say, oh, what are the kids going to do today?
Yes.
And the thing is, you don't see it facially. You don't even see the runny nose and the eyes. You see all the stereotypy rise.
Right.
Suddenly, they're all jumping and hand flapping. And we had a parent who used to come in, and the kid's fine and great now, but he would come in, and he hadn't stimmed in so long. And we didn't notice, and one day he came in, and we were like, what is going on with you? You haven't hand flapped or done any of these things in so long. I said, Mom, what happened today? What did you do something different? She goes, oh, I forgot to give him his Claritin.
Right.
Came in, brought it in, gave it to him, 2 hours, all the stimming was gone.
Because he was having to deal with his body fighting off all those other things.
And the thing is, it came out in a behavioral way.
Right.
It didn't come out in the physical watery eyes, runny nose.
Right.
It came out in hand flapping and jumping up and down and all these things. And then after that, we started to realize whenever it would come, she'd be like, oh, because she was trying to teach him to be independent in taking it.
Yes, of course.
And in that process, some days get missed. And everybody always knew. And we're like,
Right.
oh, he went to school like this today? Oh,
yeah.
you should probably talk to the teacher.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, we've got a couple of comments that came in, and we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back to discuss those and more questions that we had in the night. So stick with us. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.